Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a super awesome video for you. It is 5:20 in the morning. Actually, funny thing about that, I had someone DM me, not even like a public comment, that I don't actually get up early, and I thought it was quite hilarious. Man, we live in a society where just because someone doesn't do something, they assume, like everyone else doesn't do it too. I don't know. It's probably one of the craziest DMs I've ever gotten. Super hilarious to me, but it's whatever. So today, let's get into what we're going to make. With all the rage about super large worms, we have our own 16-inch worm. There's the mold. It's gigantic. And here's the worm. And we're going to call this the Spade Worm, because it has this little spade tail on it. But there we go. That is the worm. 16 inches. When you rig these things, and I'll show you a video probably toward the end, just kind of in addition to this video, but there's two real main ways of rigging this. You can Neko rig it, which you shove a nail weight in the head, and then just use a wacky hook or a drop shot hook and hook it right behind the fat part. So it'll float down. Plastic I use floats, so this tail, and I'll show you that at the end of the video, but this tail will just float straight up, and these things catch a surprising amount of fish. You would think that, like using something this large, the fish would just be kind of intimidated, but that's not the case at all. And actually, if you guys follow pro fishing at all, Alton Jones Jr., he worked with G-Crack and actually made their, I think it's called like their G-Crazy or something, but that's like a 17-inch worm. A bunch of companies are coming out with this now, and we're actually going to be coming out with ours probably next week. I'm not sure yet on when the release is, but today we're going to shoot the mold and just show you how awesome that this can be. The other way of rigging this thing is, of course, Texas rig. This is a 6/0 katana. I guess it's just an EWG hook, just like a normal Texas rig hook. But for some reason, anytime I Texas rig anything, I perpetually put a bead and like an 1/8 or a 16th ounce weight on the line. And if that's the case, you're just going to hit the bottom with it, and you just like drag it forward. And the idea is that this tail kind of stretches out behind it. I find with hookup ratios, typically if you're fishing it with a Neko, like this, it's going to be sitting like this, and for some reason the fish kind of hit it from the side, so it's a lot easier to set the hook. As with every Texas rig, you got to kind of wait till they, inhale it a little bit and start swimming off with it, and then you can of course give them God's grace and set the hook so hard it gives you life. But I've definitely had success both ways. So the color we're going to be doing today is a cool color I found called Sand 208. And if you just look, well, I got a little bit on my finger. It looks kind of like a clay color. And I actually, there it is in the bottle, I actually got an opportunity to kind of work with this color a little bit. Sometimes it's not often I get a chance to make a color prior to actually doing a video on it. A lot of the colors on this channel is like a first time for me and you type of deal. Just to give you an idea, I had 100 orders that went out this week. It's very high volume, so I don't always have time to come out here and be like, all right, let me pour up some worms in this color and see what looks best in it. With this one, I actually did get the chance to do that. So we are going to add a little bit of small purple flake. You can see I have just a ton of it, and I like to use the super small purple flake on this, the .008, really just as fine as you can get it, and you'll see why once we add it. And then of course we're going to just do some black, add a little bit of contrast in there. So we will be right back once our plastic is ready. Okay, we are back. Our plastic is ready. We're going to mix this up first. I'm actually constantly surprised that people have not actually seen this thing, but we just come right over here in this corner, we got this little thing. I got this off Amazon, but you just put the bottle on it, shake it. It's like a mini paint mixer. I think it's used for like if you're mixing a blood sample or something. I think they use these in like labs. Probably not the Amazon brand, you know. I'm sure there's some super expensive, you know, actual brand that they use, but these things are like 30 bucks on Amazon, and it's very surprising to me that people don't have this as kind of something that they can use to mix their colorants before they use them. But here we are. So with this color, I've actually found that lighter saturations work better. So we've got 2 cups. Normally we do like, I don't know, let's say like 30 drops per cup. Normally my saturation would be higher than that. It'd be, you know, 40 drops per cup or something. I think what we're going to do is we are probably going to do about 50 drops in total for both cups. And that way we can kind of get super light saturation, and then once we add the flake in there, you'll see it kind of adds a little bit of texture to it. So here we go, 50 drops. Alright, that's like 52. Add a couple in there just for good measure. Alright, and you'll see what we get is like a very natural brown. Kind of looks like, what is it? It's like that pewter tile fill, like if you're putting tile up in a bathroom, they have that tan stuff that you smear between the tiles that becomes like it's not the grouting, but it's, I don't know what it's called, but that's what it looks like. Super natural color, if you ask me. I mean, especially in light saturations, when you start getting heavy saturations with this stuff, you do get more of like a, I don't know, a sand look, like a child's ball pit sand type of deal. And I think that could be kind of cool for like laminates, but I think for the purposes that we're using it, like just a natural colored large worm, I think that just a little bit lighter of a saturation is better. So we're going to go in with 1/4 of large black flake. And then we're going to go in with 1/4 of large small purple. And this is the super small stuff. And I should say that I have tried this with both large purple and small black, and for some reason the texture just turns out better when it's always small purple and always a larger black. And I don't know why that is, but we'll see here in a second. This makes like a super natural color. There we go. Kind of a clay color with small purple and large black. So let's go ahead and shoot this mold. This being an 8 cavity 16-inch worm, of course, is quite a thirsty mold. I believe the whole thing is about, I don't know, 6 or 7 ounces. It's quite a bit. And we will be selling this worm. Like I said, this product is going to come out, this bait will be released next week sometime. And we will be at the Raleigh Bass and Saltwater Fishing Expo with a vendor booth. And of course we'll have it there as well, and you can order it on the website if you guys are interested. Alright, so there we go. And for those of you that don't know what I mean by perhaps it's going to come out next week, I know maybe that sounds a little bit weird, you know, since I own the company. we actually use a social media and marketing company. So, you know, like typically what I'm doing is I'm filming these videos and I'm sending it to them, and then they're deciding release dates. You know, they like look at the market, they figure out, you know, when the best date would be, what day, what time, you know, all that sort of stuff to put these videos out. And they also manage like the releases of products. You know, I get molds in all the time. There's no shortage of people sending me molds or me buying molds, and you know, so they just kind of manage all that process, and they also do a bit of the social media market managing. It actually works out very, very well. I know that maybe that sounds a little bit scary because, you know, oh my God, I'm releasing control of my videos to someone else, you know, but that's not the case. It's actually worked out very, very well, and I don't actually do YouTube because I care about the money or anything like that. I don't even think the channel is monetized, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, I do it because I think it's fun, and you know, maybe you'll learn something along the way. I work for a software company that manages the lending for banks, so you know, I am in no way concerned about, you know, if this channel will make money or anything like that. So it makes things like using a social media marketing manager much, much easier. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't honestly care if they do anything with these videos. You know, I film them, they put them up on the YouTube channel. Hey, you know, it's great, but, you know, it actually takes a lot of strain, pressure, stress, and all that shit off my shoulders. So, alright, we will be right back as soon as we are ready to pull this out. And one other thing I should say is, because it's such a large mold, now, this is a 16-inch worm. It's an 8-cavity mold. I mean, this is a huge chunk of metal. You know, I know that the camera makes it kind of look, you know, we're looking down. It doesn't look like it's that big, but this thing is, you know, actually here, this is that 9.5 ounce injector off Amazon, and you can see that the mold is, and this is kind of half extended because there's some plastic in there, right? And it's still larger than that. So. All that to say, typically with molds that are this large, you want to just give them an extra minute or two to cool. You know, I know normally we could just go right at it and rip it out. I think with larger molds, you just got to give them an extra minute or so that way they actually solidify correctly and the baits kind of, you know, turn out correct. So we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. This is the section off of the injector there. Like I said, supernatural color. Kind of see, well, you can definitely see the black flake. And I don't know if the camera's picking it up, or maybe it needs to be on a background or something. I can see the purple flake. I think it looks really good. Let's see. Not sure if the camera's picking it up, but very subtle purple flake in there. And the whole idea is that when light hits this underwater, it's going to reflect off that purple and just really kind of give the fish something to look at. So let's go ahead and open up this mold and see what we got. With it being such a large mold, I usually like to clamp it a little bit more. Alright, looks like everything's going to try and come out on this side. Alright, there we go. So the first thing that I notice is that we did not have enough pressure on the injector. I didn't preheat this injector at all. Probably should have, because it's like 40 degrees outside. So as a result, it was probably seizing up a little bit. I actually felt it seizing up a little bit. So we didn't get the tails, but that's alright. Because the entire idea here, well, one, you could still fish this. I mean, just because there's not a little point on the tail doesn't mean anything. We got, oh, I don't know, 15 inches, 14 inches of the worm or something. So definitely still fish this, but the entire idea here is that we're looking at the color. And here we go. Let me do this so that it's a little bit easier to see. That way you're not looking at an entire worm in my hand. So there we go, there's a close-up. And You see that very subtle purple flake. And man, this is a super natural color. This is probably as natural as it gets. There's actually a color called Nightcrawler by Lureworks. We've done a video on this channel before for that color. And Nightcrawler is more of like a purple brown. Similar to, it's kind of like this, it's like a darker brown, but you know, kind of like a color shifty purple instead of the flake purple. But it is a little bit darker than this here. I think that this is actually like a very natural, like nightcrawler looking color, you know, like you go dig a worm up and it's like this little, like this light brown gray color, right? I mean, if they're not red or black or a million other colors that creatures on this earth come in, right? But all this to say, super natural presentation right here. I mean, you run a hook through this, you go fish it anywhere. I mean, you'd be hard pressed. You're probably gonna get tired of the amount of fish that you catch off something that is this natural. But you know, the idea is that there's like a spaghetti mess of worms here. The idea is that it doesn't always have to be some bright, spectacular, you know, dually laminated, triple laminated color, you know. The idea is that, I mean, a lot of times you can take something very simple and very natural looking and go catch the mess out of some fish, just because it's kind of more natural. That's what it looks like, you know. That's what their food looks like, you know. A worm falls off into the water, it's going to kind of look this color, right? So there you go. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I am going to come right back, and I'm actually going to show you this worm in our test tank, both Texas rigged and with the Neko hook. Now, I'm not going to have, I don't know that I'll run a line through it or anything like that, but I was going to drop it in the tank and just let you guys see the action on this guy. Okay, I'm going to show you what we got here. We did end up running a line through. I have this 6/0 katana hook. It is Texas rigged. And then we just have, I believe this is a 16th or an 1/8 ounce line weight here. And I just have it on some line. So what we're going to do, and this is going to be a little difficult because I am wearing the chest rig and trying to drop this worm in here. So there we go. That is our Texas rig. You can see that it just stands perfectly up. That tail will just kind of wave in the water. And it's actually kind of funny. I need to add more water to this tank because the tail is actually, like, with more water in the tank, I could get probably another 2 inches of extension out of the tail. But there's the Texas rig, and, you know, like any Texas rig, you would just kind of drag it on the bottom. We can see down there, I'm just kind of hopping it. And we see that tail just poking up, waving. And then here is our Neko rig. And again, this is a 16th ounce nail weight that I've shoved in the head. And then you just take the hook and run it through the side like this. And with Neko rigs, there we go. We can see that tail is all over everything. And just standing straight up on the bottom. So there we go. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments.